A review coming on this guy shortly. Stay tuned for that. I know about 0% of you are excited about a review on the Tusken Raider. All right, guys, so we're kicking off this posing showcase of the Tusken Raider with something pretty amazing. So you saw me kind of build this little diorama set, and I wanted to see, what could I do with a single Tusken Raider? So I only got one, and I may go back and get some more later in the, next month or whatever, first of the year. But I didn't really see the need for me to army build these guys when I could go get more clones or more troopers or, whatever, Iron Man figures. And I think the pose we came up here was more of a victorious kind of, he's just defeated some people and now he's just out scoping out the horizon. We got a nice little Stormtrooper helmet there from the Mandalorian release. And I do have some kinetic sand down on the turntable today. So kinetic sand's good to use for diorama pieces because it doesn't go everywhere. And then a rock that I found by the pond out back. So if you need diorama pieces, go outside and find something. Now I will tell you the cloak on the figure does not. It has two wires. It has a wire on the left side and the right side, but it is super weak and it is nowhere near strong enough to do what you're seeing here on screen. So I cheated a little bit and I used armature wire kind of tucked into the cummerbund. So the helmet here, again, I've just got them there for a diorama set piece. If you've got a lot of figures or if you're, building your collection, pulling pieces from different figures will definitely help you, kick it up a notch as far as your display pieces. But there's the cloak in the back. Again, just armature wire bent, stuck into the cummerbund, kind of giving that flowy look. I wish I wish. I'm glad I have the opportunity to use stuff like that. If there was a super strong wire in that cloak, then it might not drape very well. And you might want that look instead of this look. But this is more of a majestic kind of, scouting the horizon, just being awesome. And so maybe you don't want 2 figures or 3 figures, even though, you could definitely do that because it's got a switch out bandolier. Since I only got one, I'm not bothering with the switch out bandolier at all. I don't see the point. But I do like that Hot Toys actually gave us that piece for those who want multiple figures and you can have different looks. That's pretty nice. Posing wise, really no issues. It's got ratcheted hips and a slight ratchet knee. So I really had no issues moving this guy and posing him. Double jointed elbows. I will tell you that I have I broke a couple pieces, wrist pegs. So that was super fun. And so that's on me, but I'll fix that at a later date. But I really do like the look of this particular figure. I think it looks great. And as a standalone piece, you could have him definitely set up in the DTOF by himself like this. The boots, no articulation there whatsoever. Might as well have a cast on because there is zero, and it is super flat. So if you want to have him like off angle a little bit, it's going to look weird. You're not going to have an ankle pivot like you would on like a Spider-Man figure. So that's unfortunate. There are no die-cast parts on the head. There were some reports out there of being die-cast. Absolutely no die-cast anywhere on this figure, which is fine. I just don't know why the reports came back that way. Very good sculpt. I have no issues with that whatsoever. He looks just as scary as you would think it would look. I mean, just from the films. Weathering wise, there is a little bit on the bottom of the cloak and the pants. It's slight. So there is some. It may not be enough for a lot of people. It's there on the cloak. It's also on the bottom of the I guess pants, if you will. You can kind of see it there in the light. It's like little speckling and stuff going on. But, if you wanted to get one of these and weather it up even more, you could absolutely do that. And it would look just fine. I quite like this pose, and I really don't want to change it because I'd like to just display it like this. But for the sake of the video, we're absolutely going to do that. So let's just go make that happen. All right, guys, so we got the second pose here. And spoiler alert, I broke something. So I know that's a big shocker. But I actually broke off 2 pegs in 2 different hands. So... Don't do that. I know how to get them out, but I'll deal with that another time. So there's actually 2 hands that are, I guess, best described as supposed to hold the macro binoculars, but they don't really hold them all that well. So it's more of a friction fit. Get the arms up there and just kind of squeeze them together and see if it'll stay. I actually broke 2 different hands. So that's super fun. Good job, me. That's just how it goes. But here we go, guys. I've got another pose up here with the macro binoculars up, with the windswept cloak. Yes, I cheated, and I used armature wire for those who skipped that on the first pose. And I brought out our OG Mando to see, how well would these 2 pose together. And I also broke out some Fett parts from the Boba Fett Empire Deluxe set. I just had extra parts, so I figured, what the hell, I'll just throw them up there. And of course we got a Grogu, because you got to have one of those. So posing this guy, let's talk about this. One, you see the creases going on in this linen-ish, I guess it's linen type material. You're gonna have that. So if that bothers you, you could steam it if you wanted to do that. It doesn't bother me. It just adds to the realism, because Star Wars is dirty and grimy, and it's fine. I don't have a problem with it. With the lack of, I guess you would say, weathering, it kind of makes sense. But if that bothers you, I'm sure you could steam that out, and you could deal with that. However, I'm actually having fun posing this guy. And I think the reason I'm enjoying posing this guy and setting him up is because I have the companion pieces. So I think that's where the fun lies for me. Obviously, here with our little Grogu hanging out on our rock and our Fett parts. I think the tailoring and the head sculpt and everything going on with the actual Tusken Raider is fantastic. The head is just detailed like crazy. The weapons are cool, and then of course we got our little Mando here just kind of chilling on this rock. So I'm having some fun with this thing. I don't have any issues with the butterfly joints in the shoulders, ab crunch, no issues with that. And it does have a switch out bandolier if you want to do that. I don't see much point in messing with that unless you had multiple. So that's a good benefit. If you were to get this figure and you wanted 2 of them, you could have it look like you got 2 different, Raiders. So that was nice Hot Toys to add that in for posing for your own. It's just personal preference. So I'm not going to mess with that. I'm more or less going to show, what could this thing possibly look like on your shelf. And I do have his rifle slung over, just like that. So if you can have some accessories going on there, and yeah, I just think it's kind of cool. So you guys can let me know. These guys are kind of just chilling while the Raider is keeping a lookout. And we'll do at least one more pose, and we'll see what we think of this figure. Let me know your thoughts and the poses in the comment section down below. All right, guys, for you, I spent the last 45 friggin' minutes setting this up, just so people would say, hey, what if you displayed him like this? What if you went straight up prequels and you wanted to pose your Tusken Raider being massacred by Anakin? So I'll let that sink in for just a second and let you guys just kind of enjoy this for a moment. And Yeah. I don't know how I'm going to display my Raider. I really have no idea how I'm going to do it. I really like the first pose I had him in simply because it was simple and I could throw it, if I wanted to, I could throw it in a DTOF. That would be rather easy to do. And then you do stuff like this and you go, damn, like that's cool too. Like I don't know how I'm going to display mine. So there's that. So, when I first got the figure shipped to me from Pop Collectibles, by the way, shout out to Pop Collectibles. Thank you for shipping this out. Discount code Patrol. Check out if you want to save some dough. When I first got this, I told a lot of people, I was like, I'm not excited for the pose this figure, but I think I've proven myself wrong. Like this was, you definitely need some companion pieces to pose this guy with. But creating dioramas or scenes and stuff like this with your collection is what makes it fun for me. You may be a museum poser and you just like having a lot of figures, and that's cool. For me, it's about recreating scenes or maybe what if scenes, right? So so this is super cool. I did take some inspiration from this from a statue I found on Google. So I just typed in Tusken Raider statues, found this one, and I took some liberties with it just to make it, fun. And you can do that with your poses. You can look for statues. You can look for artwork. You can look for comic book covers. You can go to the movies and find inspiration that way. There's all kinds of ways to do this thing. Look at other posers and say, hey, like, what are they doing? And even if it's not Star Wars, if you're posing a Star Wars figure and you wanted to go military, and you could look for military poses and just combat scenes and all kinds of different things to get ideas for stuff. But I think as far as the figure goes, it's a well done figure. It's not one I feel I need to army build or have multiples of. I don't think that's the case. But having not a whole lot of hype or anticipation to get mine, I'm pleasantly surprised. And I hope you guys are too. So if you want to get one of these figures, check out Pop Collectibles. They've got them in stock. And just let me know what your favorite pose is. I'll kind of zoom in here on Anakin. This is the dark side Anakin, by the way. Because, in this particular scene, he might as well have been Sith, right? Might as well. But anyways, there's you guys. And check out your own yard and find rocks and kinetic sand. And just have some fun with stuff, right? So I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, subscribe to the channel. If you really, really liked it, hit the thumbs up button. And leave me a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this figure, the poses, this overall thoughts on Tusken Raider. So as always, guys, collect what you like. See you next time.